stuff. You know, the simple stuff starts with what's the primary? What's the most important thing in gold prospecting?
Example.
We know where to look.
Gold sinks.
Gold is heavy. It all starts there, Dave. Yes. Gold is heavy. Okay? Gold is heavy.
Get that in your head.
Get it?
It's down.
Gold is heavy. Okay?
It travels a definitive line down the river.
Because it's heavy, it follows patterns during major storm events. Washes down out of the mountains, ends up in the waterways, ends up in the river. In the major storm events, the water comes up 40 feet, 50 feet, washes out the bridges, you know. In the major storm events, a lot of stuff gets washed down the river, but because gold is heavy, it follows certain patterns. You know how heavy gold is? 20 times heavier than water. You know how heavy iron is? 8 times heavier than water. You guys all know that lead is heavy, right? Lead is heavy. Would anybody argue? We use it for fishing weights, right? 13 times heavier than water. Gold is almost twice as heavy as lead. Primary. Gold is heavy. And the problem is, here's the problem. Here's the second part. Gold is valuable. All right? And these are different things. Gold is heavy is something to do with the physical universe. It's physics. It's mechanics, you know. It's the real physical world that we live in, right? Gold is valuable is an internal thing, emotional, something that happens inside of you where you live, okay? And because it's valuable, you want it. Don't think you want it? You're just kidding yourself. All you got to do is see something, you know you want it. Okay? You can't get enough of it. Like love. You can't get enough of it, you know. Anybody that doesn't think they have that in them, you're wrong. Everybody's got it. It's just a matter of how much gold it takes to set you off. Okay? And when it sets you off, you are hooked. Okay? And here's the problem. Because you want it, your analyzer shuts down. And if your analyzer that follows a sampling plan because gold is heavy. In other words, I gotta get some gold, you know, and you just dig anywhere, right? Then you don't find any and you get disappointed. But there's a way, because it's heavy, it follows patterns, you see. So you gotta be a detective. You got to be using your analyzer to try and find it. You know, you got to set your emotions aside, and as you work your way through the learning curve, you will progress directly in proportion to your own internal understanding that gold is heavy. That's your progress, right there. Every project that Craig and I ever did, we found the gold because we were following a sampling plan, because gold is heavy. That's it, okay? So you start gold mining. How many people have found their first gold? Come on. Did you get jacked up or what? Did you want more than that? Okay. If you want to get more, you have to follow a sampling plan. Now the best sampling plan is to find somebody else who's already finding more and knock him out of his hole. Wait for him to leave. Because people, especially in the 49'ers, come and go. Sometimes they're only here for a week. It's a good reason to come to the potlucks to make friends with people. You know, if somebody's finding more gold than you are, you're only finding specks. You know, you're looking around specks. You're looking around specks. It's the beginning of the learning curve. You're looking around specks. You can't get more than specks, you know. And you meet somebody who's getting nice flakes, you know. They're showing you a bottle. Go work with them. Go help them. Go out there with them. Say, I'll carry your stuff for you. Like on a golf course, the guy that carries it. I'll call it for free, you know. you can keep all the gold, I'll just help you. Because their viewpoint will rub off on you and you'll see the gold. And it'll move you up the learning curve. You'll go, I'm not sticking with specs anymore. See, when you're sampling, the idea is that it's an awful big world, you know. You can't mine the whole thing. Too bad. You can't mine the whole thing, you know. And because gold is heavy, it follows certain paths, you know, and off the path you don't find very much. So you got to find the path. And you do that through sampling. Okay? So somebody does a sample and all I get is a couple specks. Is that what you want? You want bottles full. Okay? You want to fill up bottles with gold. The only place you're going to fill up bottles with gold is on that narrow path that gold follows down the waterway. It's the only place. With a rare exception that somebody dropped some somewhere and you found it, you know. Doesn't happen very much. Okay? So the way that you find that path is through doing samples. Okay? You try here, you try there, and you try to figure it out. Okay? And we sample mostly, especially on the surface, but we're going to do this weekend, with gold pans. If we're out in the river, once we get dredging back, we sample with dredges. Do a sample hole, clean up, and see what we got.